Tonight on News 5 Live, Clash of the Titans. Atlantic Bank versus State Bank. Atlantic Bank sues Mike Feinstein and State Bank, while Feinstein's attorney writes to the central bank regarding concerns over a $60 million loan. The medical community mourns the loss of Dr. Fernando Cuellar. The Senate inquiry is placed on hold yet again. And meet Belize's first aspiring paleontologist. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
1,067,700 slices of bacon are eaten by tourists each year, stimulating our local economy. Tourism means business.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, April 22nd. I am Sabrina Daly. The Atlantic Bank Limited, businessman Michael Feinstein and Stake Bank Enterprises, which is presently in receivership, are headed to litigation. On Friday, a claim was brought before the High Court against Feinstein, who is a director and shareholder of Stake Bank Enterprise Limited. In the lawsuit, Atlantic Bank claims that it has provided Stake Bank Enterprise with $62 million to develop Stake Bank Island into a cruise ship docking facility. Part of the project required that roughly 23.5 acres of seabed had to be reclaimed around the existing land mass. In 2018, Atlantic Bank proceeded to make funding available for the project on the strength that Stake Bank Enterprise would ensure that the title to the reclaimed acreage would be acquired from the government of Belize in Stake Bank's name. Furthermore, the claimant states that in 2021, Feinstein illegally applied for and received title to the extension in his name rather than in Stake Bank's name. A mortgage debenture carried out in January of 2022 clearly stated that the original 16 acres of the island, as well as all future leasehold and freehold property, including all buildings and fixtures, are the property of Stake Bank Enterprise Limited. A few weeks ago, Atlantic Bank learned that Feinstein had possession of the title to the extension in his name. He was then required to convey the title for the extension to Stake Bank Enterprise so that it falls within the charge created by the mortgage debenture. Atlantic Bank asserts that Feinstein has refused to do so. As such, it is seeking a declaration that Feinstein holds the extension to Stake Bank Island as a constructive trustee for Stake Bank Island and subject to an equitable charge in favor of Feinstein. ABL is also seeking an order of directing Feinstein to immediately transfer the extension to Stake Bank Island to Stake Bank Enterprise, free and clear of any hindrance or charge. Among other reliefs, Atlantic Bank is also seeking damages against Feinstein for fraud and breach of fiduciary duties. Atlantic Bank Limited is being represented by the law firm of Courtney Coyi, LLP. Earlier today, the attorney for Michael Feinstein wrote to the governor of the Central Bank of Belize requesting an investigation of Atlantic Bank Limited for, quote, serial breaches of the Domestic Banks and Financial Institutions Act, unquote. The letter states that ABL approved and disbursed over $60 million in loan funds to Stake Bank Enterprises Limited, using monies belonging to depositors, as well as the pension funds of employees working at Atlantic Bank Limited. According to Stake Bank Enterprise, this was done without ensuring that adequate security was put in place at the onset. It further states that a mortgage debenture was not executed until January 18th of 2022, only after Central Bank had approved the $60 million loan facility for the Stake Bank project. Aside from the loan amount, Atlantic Bank purportedly created subsidiary credit facilities in the form of construction credit loans that totaled approximately $21 million to continue financing the Stake Bank project out of the watchful eye of the central bank. The letter also points to, among several other observations, a considerable devaluation of the security held by Atlantic Bank, which puts depositors and employee pension funds at risk, since the loans were not properly collateralized. Turning now to Parliament. This morning, a scheduled Senate inquiry into Portico's controversial definitive agreement was placed on hold yet again after the Office of the Attorney General wrote to the chair of the Senate Special Select Committee on Friday, indicating that the upper house remains on recess. The Senate has been on break since the start of Holy Week and continues to be on time off. Despite explaining the need to get on with the process, Chairperson Janelle Chinona was advised that decisions taken by the committee during this period could be challenged in a court of law. Here's what she shared regarding the postponement earlier today. What has happened today is that on March 27th, we set a date for back-to-back public hearings today, the 22nd and the 23rd. Friday evening at 6 p.m., we were forwarded a legal memo from the Attorney General's ministry indicating to the President of the Senate that there are two things that would prevent today's meeting. One is that the Senate is on recess since Holy Week, and two, that as a result of being on recess, that the committee should not be working because decisions taken at the committee meeting may be legally challengeable. We responded Saturday morning to that legal memo content, indicating, again, our TOR speaks to working expeditiously and urgently, that we had set this meeting for quite some time, that we were relying on the guidance provided by the National Assembly, the Office of the Clerk in terms of parliamentary practice and procedure, and that everything was set up for Monday morning. And up to Sunday last night, we got a response again after hours from the Office of the President indicating that the decision was not just to cancel our committee meetings or to advise that the committee meeting should not proceed, but that all committee meetings scheduled outside of recess be canceled, or within recess be canceled. I've been here since March 2022. I think it's definitely an opportunity for everyone to learn. What we do lament and what we place on record is that the timing, had we been able to get this legal opinion, which I will say right off is the very first time a legal opinion on such procedure has been asked for and received. But it is regrettable that Friday evening into the weekend for a Monday morning meeting that this transpired. According to Senator Chanona, witnesses were informed of the delay at the 11th hour on Sunday night, ahead of sessions that were scheduled for Monday and Tuesday of this week. Last night, we moved very quickly to inform the witnesses. We had some key witnesses planned for today to say that this was a technicality that was being brought to the committee's attention, and that we're looking now at a new date in May for the committee to meet and move ahead with its work. There is also the matter of the newly appointed the senator for the National Trade Union Congress and Civil Society Steering Committee to be sworn in. Again, the motion speaks to having that person represent in the committee and make contributions, and we want the committee to be at full strength. So we're also working to make sure that all of those procedures and requirements related thereto happen, so that when the committee meets, we have the full membership in place.
It's a lot of delays that this process has been met with, but earlier you also said that all the members of the committee remain undaunted.
Remain
undaunted, that the work will continue and you want to see it through.
Marisol, I think this is really testament to the fact that this motion was not taken lightly by the Senate on a whole. You will recall that this motion passed unopposed by the members of the Senate. This is an important matter of public interest, and we are determined as the Senate to produce a report that will make recommendations that will produce positive change for the work of Parliament, particularly the Senate, and most importantly, that public assets and public resources be managed in a way that is within the scrutiny and investigative powers of the Senate. Coming up, Richard Crawford is knocked down and killed in Crooked Tree.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Well, sir, I really did go through some stress with my barber. This man here, they push my hairline way back to the 90s.
Sure.
People, they call me BB Buck Farid now.
So I got a problem, right? I just do this photo shoot, and I want the best photo shoot. But somebody don't want me to post it up. I just tired of this, man.
I don't want to tell her to catch me on my way. I stopped at the shop and tell the lady I want $5 tacos. You could imagine when you give me? No paper.
What are your problem?
Honestly, life good for me over here. I just upgraded to the Digi1 Elite. I have unlimited postpaid plans, DigiTV, free home phone, and the fastest home internet.
I going to upgrade mines now.
Motorcyclists perished in a fatal road traffic accident on Saturday morning near Crooked Tree Village. 58-year-old Richard Crawford was traveling along the stretch of road when he was knocked down and killed by Andy Gillett, the driver of a Mazda Tribute that crashed into Crawford. The 33-year-old fisherman was charged with several counts related to the deadly incident. Here's more from Assistant Commissioner of Police Gilberto Romero.
Okay, about 6:20 a.m. on Saturday, police responded to a fatal road traffic accident at Crooked Tree Village. Upon their arrival, they saw a Mazda pickup, extensive damage on a motorcycle. Information is that Andy Gillett was driving the Mazda vehicle when he lost control and collided into a motorcycle being driven at the time by Richard Crawford. Crawford received severe injuries, was taken to the KHMH where he was pronounced dead on arrival. An investigation was carried out, and Gillett has since been arrested and charged for the crimes of manslaughter by negligence, causing death by careless conduct, and drove motor vehicle without due care and attention.
This morning, Gillett appeared before the lower court in the presence of attorney Orson O.J. Elrington. No plea was taken from Gillett, as the offenses for which he was charged are being dealt with on indictment. He was offered and met bail in the sum of $8,000 and must report to the Ladyville police station every Friday. Attorney Elrington spoke briefly following Gillett's arraignment.
Well, yes, he was arraigned for 3 different charges: manslaughter by negligence and causing death by careless conduct and driving without due care and attention. And the matter came before the learned magistrate this morning, and he was granted bail in the sum of $8,000 with 2 sureties.
Are you familiar with the accident this weekend?
No, right now we don't have anything beyond what is the summary of facts, which again I always say is a misnomer because it's the police's version of the facts. And so until I have been able to, we obviously have disclosure on July 4th, I believe. The court has set disclosure for July 4th, and then is when we will have the evidence that the prosecution intends to use against my client for the substantive matter.
A 7-year-old minor also lost his life in a fatal road traffic accident over the weekend. On Sunday, Martin Swift Sr. and his family were traveling along the Old Northern Highway in the vicinity of Lucky Strike Village when their vehicle overturned. Several persons were injured during the accident, including Martin Swift Jr., who succumbed to his injuries at the KHMH.
Okay, on Sunday, the 21st of April 2024, there was a fatal RTA between miles 28 and 29 on the Old Northern Highway. Police visited the area where they saw a vehicle, a Mercedes-Benz, overturned. Information is that the driver of that vehicle is Martin Swift, who was along with several of his family members when he lost control of the vehicle and the vehicle flipped. Several of them received injuries. They were taken to the KHMH for treatment, where Martin Swift Jr., 7 years, succumbed to his injuries. They are presently receiving treatment at the KHMH, and they are expected to recover.
Was speeding a factor?
Yes, the area where the accident occurred, there's a curve, and yes, we believe speeding was the cause.
Kevin Bernard, the Minister of Health and Wellness, today weighed in on an issue that was recently raised by the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams. The Commissioner is of the view that police officers should not transport individuals suffering from gunshot injuries to the hospital. The Minister of Home Affairs, Karim Musa, says police officers should use their discretion. Well, Minister Bernard says Compal Williams is right. He added that more needs to be done to increase the number of medical personnel available to respond to these incidents.
From a medical perspective, I'm no medical doctor. I am no medical technician, and you all know that. But when you look at the Commissioner is right in his own way in saying what he said, because when you look at the responsibility of a police officer, There are no medical doctors either. There are no EMT. Now what we have been seeing in this country is that we have been able to train through the fire department. We have been getting additional EMT persons being trained in the field. We are working in the private sector, both in the ministry as well. We are trying to ensure that we enhance EMT services within to build the capacity. We have to understand, if you are in the US, for example, you won't see a police officer moving anybody. There's a response team that will report that comes to the rescue. So in one way, the commissioner is right. It's something that we have been used to. Maybe the way he said it came out differently, but in right, the commissioner is right. And not a lot of people realize, oh, the police is there. What police not even touch anybody, no one move anything. You cannot just move a person that is injured just right, so you could cause even more harm.
Last Thursday, reports surfaced of a stolen Toyota Hilux from the Western Regional Hospital. The vehicle's GPS tracker was activated, and it showed that the Hilux was in Flores Petén, Guatemala. Authorities in Guatemala have since located and returned the Toyota Hilux back to Belize. An investigation is ongoing to determine how the vehicle was stolen and taken across the border. Today, Minister Bernard commended the quick response.
I don't know the details of the truck. I'll be honest with you. All I was informed in the morning, I was out in Chile at a summit, ministerial summit on patient safety, when my CEO informed me that they were informed that the truck, one of the pickup, was stolen. Immediately, let me just say though, it's not about whether it was stolen, it's about the quick reaction, the quick response that our ministry and the personnel at the ministry, and I must give my people kudos for that, because they got on board, they got in contact with the police worked very immediately and efficiently with us, and that's how we were able to get and track that vehicle across the Guatemalan side. And the Guatemalan authorities as well work very closely with our ministry and also our police personnel through the Compol and his team, that we were able to get that vehicle right back in country the following day.
Is it alarming though that the security guard saw the vehicle leaving at midnight and it didn't raise any alarm bells or suspicion?
Of course it does. Of course it does, and I'm sure that we are going to ensure that the proper investigations are carried out to ensure that those persons who were there to protect the equipment of our investments of our people, which are the taxpayers' money, to ensure that they can answer to any questions that may arise. I know the police is doing their own investigation into the matter, but I have not gotten any other details as it relates to that.
The mother of a man accused of murder is seeking to defend her son's innocence. Last week, a wanted poster was issued for 29-year-old Joseph Vaccaro in connection with the murder of 32-year-old Roy Lee Burgess in Placencia Village. Vaccaro's mother, Brenda Lee Vaccaro, visited our newsroom claiming that the police is disseminating erroneous information about her son. She claims that he was wanted by police in connection with a domestic dispute and that his partner later withdrew that charge. She further claims that Vaccaro is detained at the Belize Central Prison under the state of emergency and not in connection with the murder of Burgess. She asserts that her son was at his father's house in Belize City at the time the murder occurred and that he never travels to Placencia. Brenda Lee Vaccaro is now demanding answers from the police. Here is what she told us.
They have my son, the harasser, about a murder down south, and all on the news that he is wanted for murder. There's some part of Placencia there where my son not even go to Placencia. My son didn't go south, none at all. My son only go from west to city, right? And to his father or his mother house. And then my son was here in the city for this case that is supposed to be attend on Thursday, the 18th. So he bring down his clothes and he's there at his father's house to get himself ready for the case this week that passed, last week, the Thursday. And then when they don't know you hear that how he wanted for murder, and he had witness of 4 persons beside him that was in the house when they was there the night just having family time together. I want the country of my Belize to hear, even the people in Placencia, that Joseph do not have anything to do with anybody murder, because Joseph don't even know that young man. When I told him, I said, son, they call your name on the news about murder. He said, Mommy, he used a word to me. He said, Mommy, you crazy? I don't want for no murder. Mommy, I don't know nothing about no murder. I want it for domestic fight for me and my common law.
Is it your view that your son is incapable of committing such an act?
No. Murder? No. How can he commit a murder when he wasn't even there? He was here, so you cannot be two places at the same time. And he got witness. But what the police is supposed to do is try to do more investigation, serious investigation, shall be malice to people and doing things.
How do you reconcile your view of your son with the accusations that he's faced in the past of murder, attempted murder, etc.?
Well, then he didn't do any attempted murder. They accused him of a murder with the Chinaman, and my belief that all of these are connected to 1, 2, 3. If anybody got sense to know, money talk, and sorry for use the word walk, you know. And I'm telling you this because I'm not scared. I'm not scared. But what I'm trying to say, they're G3, they are all in cahoots with bad intention towards my boy.
After the break, Belize's beloved Dr. Fernando Cuellar loses his battle to cancer. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Precision-engineered and sustainably made tire change your world? A tire that gives you strength and safety when you need it most.
What we learn on the track, we innovate
For the road, bringing next-level quality and reliability to every drive. At GT, we believe our tires can deeply improve the driving experience for each and every one of us, whatever our goals. Enjoy driving. GT Tire.
Design Depot, your all-in-one destination for transforming your living spaces. Explore the world of GE with our selection of cutting-edge appliances for functional, convenient, and modern living. Find solutions for every paint project, from home to industrial, with our extensive selection of Sherwin-Williams paints and coatings. Safeguard your home with the durability of our weather-resistant windows and doors. Elevate your kitchen and bath with the timeless elegance of Kohler sinks and faucets. Transform your space with our constantly refreshed tile inventory, always embracing the latest tile trends. Design Depot, your source for innovation, inspiration, and impeccable design. Design Depot, all in one place.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
My name is Denise Mala. I had an aunt, one of my mom's sister, that we believe died from cancer. She was relatively young. And my sister passed from cervical cancer. I have been doing annual checkups. Recently, after one of the annual checkups, I noticed, a change in one of my breasts. I went for the next checkup earlier and I brought it to the attention of my treating doctor. He looked at it and he said he didn't like what he was seeing. A biopsy was requested and then the biopsy came back positive. When you first find out these things, you think about a lot of things, and then eventually it comes around to the finance. I recalled this insurance, critical illness insurance that I had that I was paying. And that was probably the first time I read that contract. I read it in its entirety. And then I recognized that, this is going to assist me. I called the office, spoke with my agent. He was very helpful, guided me through what I needed to do. So I went through the process and I communicated with him a couple times and he just informed me what was happening. In a pretty short period of time, I was paid my insurance. This plan that I had been paying for many years, in my time of need, that came through for me. Having that insurance helped me significantly. It is absolutely something that everyone should consider because you never know when you're going to need it.
Belize's beloved Dr. Fernando Cuellar lost his battle to cancer over the weekend. Earlier this month, his family released a statement informing that Dr. Cuellar was diagnosed with cancer of the blood while seeking medical attention in the U.S. And this weekend, the tragic news of his passing was announced. A release from his family notes that he passed away at the Memorial Care Saddleback Hospital, surrounded by his children and siblings. Dedicated, compassionate, truthful, and caring are just some of the words that his colleagues and patients have used to describe him. Dr. Cuellar never shied away from the media and many times shared views that made him a hero in the hearts of many and an adversary in the eyes of some. Notwithstanding how he may have been viewed, Dr. Fernando Cuellar led a life of service to the nation. News 5's Paul Lopez takes a closer look at his life and contributions. Here's that report.
On Saturday, April 20th, the nation lost one of its most revered medical practitioners, Dr. Fernando Cuellar. On April 2nd, his family issued a statement that he had been diagnosed with blood cancer. Only 18 days later, the unexpected occurred. Marlene Cuellar, an immediate family member of Dr. Cuellar, told us that it all came as a shock to the family.
Well, I think we're all still in shock. And I feel for his siblings, I feel for his children, I feel for his medical colleagues because he was a workaholic. He was always at his hospital. And I think they had a very close relationship because he was so present there as well. I feel for his patients because I have had people message me and say, he always made me feel like his favorite patient. And now that I see the outpouring of love, I realize he did that for everyone. And that's the truth. It is difficult to process. The cancer was rare and aggressive, and I think there wasn't sufficient time to be able to come to terms with the fact that this would be the end result.
Dr. Cuellar began his medical journey to becoming a medical practitioner almost 4 decades ago, along with his longtime friend and colleague, Dr. Victor Rosado. Their careers have taken similar paths since starting medical school in Guatemala back in 1985. They both worked at the old Belize City Hospital in the early 90s, later at KHMH, and finally joined forces at Belize Medical Associates in 2001. Dr. Rosada spoke with us about Dr. Cuellar's incomparable dedication to his patients.
What you and many people don't know about Dr. Cuellar or Tony, or we call him Star Doctor, is that he comes from very humble beginnings. His mother was a nurse, so when we came back as junior doctors, his mom was still a sister at Old Belize City Hospital. And so his compassion, his caring for his patients, his flair to talk in, he liked to say, in Belize language, comes from his origins. He never doubted where he came from. He embraced it. He loved Belize. He loved his career. That is what he lived his life for, his adult life.
And many would agree that his dedication to his patients stemmed from his passion to see Belizeans receive the best healthcare service possible in both the public and private sectors. He never shied away from media interviews, whether to disseminate information on various health topics or to share his thoughts on ways those in authority can improve the level of healthcare services offered to Belizeans. Isani Cayetano, the news director at News 5, reflected on his numerous professional encounters with Dr. Cuellar.
I think it's a major loss for the country in terms of persons who access the healthcare system both at a public or a private level. It's a loss for us in the media as well, simply because he was our consultant. If we needed any kind of professional opinion on anything that had to do with medicine, about the local healthcare system or what have you, Dr. Cuellar was always more than willing to share his knowledge and his expertise with us. And I think one thing I could always say that I admire about him is his candor. He never held any punches. He says exactly what needs to be said and takes no prisoners. And so because of that, perhaps others would have seen him as sort of a controversial figure, but at the same time, he was directing what needed to be said.
Actually, he developed that later in life. People who know him from high school know him as a very quiet person. And I think that as he excelled in his professional life, he felt comfortable to speak on certain things, on certain topics, especially when it came to medicine with authority. He had no room for mediocrity. He didn't like to compromise.
He and I were always good to have debates, so it's not a part of him I didn't know. And so I was not as surprised as most people when he just calls a spade, because he would be the first to say, well, somebody have to say it, and people to afraid about connections and what will happen. So I have nothing to lose, I have nothing to fear, so I will say it.
Undoubtedly, Dr. Cuellar's untimely passing comes as a loss to the medical sector, the thousands of patients he encountered throughout his extensive career, and the nation at large. This morning, two of his colleagues, Dr. Jorge Hidalgo and Dr. Pedro Arriaga, were on the set of Open Your Eyes, reflecting on Dr. Cuellar's life and contributions.
Very difficult to replace someone in that caliber and in that respect. Mean that it's difficult to say, and again, I believe, and as you, the medical community, is a news that it takes everyone to surprise, no? Because even that we knew that he went for treatment, I believe everybody was with the hope that he is going to put the battle that he did, and we probably were expecting a different outcome, but life is like that. No, it's difficult to know what's going to happen.
There's been an outpouring of love and support on social media, from Belizeans to Dr. Cuellar's family since the announcement of his passing. People have been sharing how this giant in the medical field positively touched their lives. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
We also heard from Kevin Bernard, the Minister of Health, on Dr. Cuellar's passing. Minister Bernard reflected on Dr. Cuellar's contributions to the medical field, as well as his desire to see better in the public health sector. Here's what Minister Bernard told reporters today.
I want to personally, as we put out on our statement on the ministry's website and social media page, extend our deepest condolences on behalf of myself as the Minister of Health and Wellness, the ministry, but the wider government and the wider general public who have gotten in contact with Dr. Cuellar one way or the other. Whether it was a personal discussion I had with Dr. Cuellar when I became the minister, in a private discussion, and his adamant position on wanting to see betterment for our country in the public sector. And he was right in many ways. He was a very vocal individual, but very right in his position. A lot of people may not have agreed with some of the things he said, but at the end of the day, he wanted betterment for this country. He wanted to see our healthcare system improve. He wanted to see life to improve. And it's so sad that he had to encounter such issue and has lost his life, sadly.
When we return, $70,000 worth of medical supplies donated to Belize.
My name is Leomar Langzert and I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Almost a year ago, Colonel Hyde told the nation there would be an examination of land instruments regarding allegations of fraud surrounding the execution-style murder of businessman Ricardo Borja.
We are looking at all the instruments inside our ministry, all the instruments that may have involved participation from this deceased, and to see whether we uncover anything. That investigation or that examination. We don't want to call it investigation because police does investigation.
Hyde still has not reported back to the nation on any findings, leading us to conclude no such examination ever took place. Now, another execution-style murder, which has just occurred in Dangriga, is once again being attributed to land fraud at the Ministry of Natural Resources. The unprecedented corruption and criminality inside the Lands Department is costing lives, and as the minister in charge, Colonel Hyde needs to do something about it. Or are we to conclude that he is okay with it?
Every day, we access energy for cooling, lighting, and powering our electrical appliances and devices at work and at home. During cooler months, we rely less on cooling appliances such as fans and air conditioners. However, during warmer months, as the temperature and humidity rises, we use more energy to cool our spaces, and our appliances and electrical devices work harder than they do during the rest of the year. When the months become hotter, let's all practice energy conservation. Here are a few changes that you can make to manage your energy use. Check that all appliances and electrical devices are working efficiently. Turn lights off when not in the room. Unplug chargers, appliances when not in use. Turn off fans and TVs. Use energy-saving light bulbs such as LEDs. And look for the Energy Star products when purchasing appliances and electrical devices. These easy changes can reduce energy use and costs. You can also monitor your energy use during the month by reading your meter and calculating the reading using BEL's bill calculator on our mobile app or by visiting our website. Let's all save energy.
Today, up to $70,000 worth of medical supplies and equipment were donated to Belize by the United States government as part of the Humanitarian Assistance Program, supported by the Security Cooperation Office at the U.S. Embassy. This donation included various items such as mannequins for CPR training, vials for containing blood, and defibrillators. Practitioners will undergo several training sessions to ensure that Belizean healthcare providers are informed on how to properly handle the equipment, as well as prepare for its use. News 5's Brittany Gordon stopped by the event earlier today to see the donation.
Today, several boxes of medical supplies and equipment were handed over to Belize as a part of the Humanitarian Assistance Program in the United States. This program seeks to alleviate poverty by providing food, shelter, safe drinking water, improved sanitation and hygiene, emergency healthcare services, child protection programs, and education to countries in need of aid. Michelle Kwan, U.S. Ambassador to Belize, spoke with us about the significance of this donation.
We are witnessing a donation made by the Humanitarian Assistance Program supported by the Security Cooperation Office at the U.S. Embassy. This is donations to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and it's ensuring that, we are providing essential goods, medical devices, as you can see, from the babies to other things, from nurse caps to providing support to the Belizeans. The Humanitarian Assistance Program, since 2021, has donated over $5 million to Belize. And today is, I have to say, one of my favorite programs because being able to provide these essential needs, medical devices, you could see, to me, I look to my right and there's a baby, right? And it really helps people educate themselves on CPR for pediatric health. These donations are so important.
Dr. Francis Murray, Deputy Director of Hospital Services and Allied Health, said that training practitioners on how to use the equipment will be the next step in this program, and that healthcare providers from various parts of the country will be invited to participate.
We have mannequins for training in pediatrics, neonatal care. We have mannequins for adult training. The U.S. government has donated these equipments as a follow-up agreement that they continue to support us in doing trainings. They do basic life support training for us, for our physicians and nurses. We have partnerships with other organizations that do training in emergency triage, basic emergency care. So these equipments support what we need on the ground to train our physicians and nurses.
Where will these supplies and equipment be implemented?
These are mostly for the regional and community hospitals. So when we do trainings, we invite physicians and nurses from everywhere, from all the district hospitals, the polyclinics, the help post them for them to get up the basic training and come up to par at what is happening currently in the world.
The donation included a variety of supplies, such as necessities and life-saving equipment.
I believe we have some 6 pediatric mannequins, 6 adult mannequins. We have about 3 or 4 defibrillators, an EKG machine, cardiac monitors, and some other general stuff that we use while we do the trainings and for hospital care.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Today, soldiers at the Belize Defense Force gathered to celebrate the unveiling of their newly built sleeping quarters. The building was overdue for renovations, and for several years it had been in dilapidated state, with a kitchen that was deemed a health hazard and unfit for use in 2019. The renovations were funded by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, which has allocated $15.5 million towards the improvement of the BDF. Dr. Osman Martinez, CEO of the Ministry of Economic Development, spoke more about this endeavor.
Today, I'm so happy that we completed our first dormitory. The second one is almost completed, and the kitchen is well on its way. And we will make sure that it's not only being done and being completed this year, but that it will be completed at the highest standard, one that you will be proud of, but at the same time, it can serve as a humanitarian support in case of any natural disasters, especially in the Belize district. The budget that was allocated to invest, or the funds came from CABEI, and there is a total amount of resources that has been allocated to the BDF, and that the budget resources is 15.5 million Belize dollars that you all will be receiving from CABEI, and that represents almost 20% of the total project. So a lot of emphasis is being put in working with the BDF. It is important to highlight as well that 10 troop lifting vehicles have been handed over to the BDF, computers, printers, and map plotters, and radios and antennas. But it is also important to highlight that our next step is to continue with the Belisario camp in Punta Gorda, and I forgot the name, but the name of the camp in Central Farm in Cayo. So we will continue to do some refurbishing in both camps. The consultant recently completed the design of both camps, and we will proceed to do that work, hopefully, especially in Punta Gorda. I think the plan is to start somewhere around August of this year.
The Belize Medical Laboratory is set to undergo some much-needed retrofitting and renovations. This comes as a collaboration between the Pan American Health Organization and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, with funding from the European Union. The overall objective of this $10 million program is to elevate the health services in Belize. The facility will be retrofitted to create more space, ensure that building safety standards are met, and updated with environmentally friendly technology. Kevin Bernard, Minister of Health and Wellness, shared his excitement over the launch of the project.
This has been something that, yes, indeed, has taken a bit long, but I am very happy that we have reached this milestone today, where the EU, through the support of PAHO as well, has been able to graciously afford us almost $1.3 plus million worth of retrofitting at the Central Medical Lab. As you know, since the fire at the Central Medical Lab, there has been a lot of issues with the facility, infrastructure-wise and in terms of spacing. Even though that we have invested in terms of increasing the capacity within the Central Medical Lab, there's need for better improvement, better work conditions, ensuring that the facility is more climate resilient and so forth. And so this retrofitting groundbreaking today is testament to the commitment that as a government and in the support of our partners in PAHO and EU, we have been able to reach to this milestone. And I know that the staff at CML here are very much eager, as I mentioned, for this retrofitting. While, as I said, we have been able to see the improvement within the work that is being carried out here at CML. There have been some issues that equipment-wise, morale-wise, anytime you work in an environment that is not conducive to your environment, to working, then it demoralizes you. And so I felt, and I said in my initial message, when I walked in this building the first time I became the Minister of Health, I myself was disappointed. I mean, it was really dilapidated. And so I'm happy that we were able to, one, get the director, a director on board, who has also had the vision to see the improvement, to work along with her staff, to make sure that we're able to better provide a service to the Belizean people. That's number one, priority. And so getting this commitment, and finally here today, is just the start of us to ensuring that we can improve. And the next step is for us to ensure that the Central Medical Lab is accredited by the international partners. And so the commitment of the director has said to me that by next year, mid-next year, it is her hope that Central Medical Laboratory will be certified by our partners in the region.
Belize is on track to receive its first ever paleontologist with 24-year-old Alcin Ovando. In 2021, the Belizean national began his studies at the East Tennessee State University, pursuing a master's degree in geosciences. Ovando plans to bring his knowledge back to Belize and pursue a career as a vertebrate paleontologist, despite the absence in the country. News 5's Brittany Gordon spoke with Ovando to learn more about this academic pursuit. Here's that story.
Alcin Ovando's love for paleontology, the study of the record of life on Earth through fossils, started early, when he watched the movie Jurassic Park for the first time. Fascinated by the dinosaurs and their researchers, he told his mom that he wanted to meet a paleontologist.
I've been interested in paleontology my entire life, so I think you saw from that news article that went out from my school. And when I was around 4 years old, I actually saw Jurassic Park for the first time. And I was just super excited, to believe that people have this as a job, this is a real thing you could do. I asked my mom, I ran up to her and I was like, can I meet a paleontologist? And she was like, Belize doesn't have any paleontologists. The closest thing you could meet is an archaeologist. And she told me about Dr. Jaime Awe being a super famous archaeologist. And I've always wanted to meet him. And I got to meet him a few years later, when I was doing my bachelor's degree. But it's been my life's dream to do it, just because no one else has tried to do it before. And I was just curious about all of these questions I think Belizeans have now that they're starting to talk about paleontology. Did Belize have dinosaurs? What was the ecology like? What was the ecosystem like back then? Was Belize even around? Was Belize even a thing? Was it underground? Was it underwater? So all of these questions I had, and now I finally get the chance to try and answer them for the first time.
Ovando, the son of famed Belizean musician Al Ovando, grew up in Dangriga, attending Ecumenical High School before pursuing a degree in natural resource management at the University of Belize. Eventually, he was able to meet renowned Belizean archaeologist Jaime Awe at the Belize Archaeological Symposium in 2019. Through Awe, Ovando was able to connect with his current advisor at the East Tennessee State University.
So Dr. Jaime Awe, I've met him several times throughout the years, and what happens is he actually connected me to my current advisor. I actually was working with the Stan Creek Regional Archaeology Project, which is one of the only archaeology projects that work in the Stan Creek district, and I was a part of their staff for their summer field season, and then I attended the Belize Archaeology Symposium that's in San Ignacio every year. And Dr. Awe is there. He usually is the highlight almost at every symposium. So, he was just roaming around, and I stopped to talk to him to tell him what I was up to and that I'm looking into doing my master's degree. So I just asked him, do you know anyone who's interested in doing paleontology in Belize? And he was like, yeah, you need to talk to this guy in Tennessee. I think he'd be interested. And when I met my now advisor, Dr. Schubert, I was so excited that he was even willing to meet with me. I talked so much, I barely let him explain to me what the school was about or things that I could do. Or I was just so happy that someone was finally interested in working with me.
Despite the uncertainty of a career in the country, Ovando says that he is determined to work in Belize and is prepared to carve out a place for himself if necessary.
Are you confident, even though there's such a lack of presence in the paleontology field, that you'll be able to build a career for yourself here?
Mm-hmm. So that's a very, very good question. I get that question all the time, actually. So my ultimate goal after I finish my master's degree is I want to do my PhD in paleontology. Where I do that PhD, I am still unsure. The future is very, very unpredictable at this point. But when I do get my PhD, I plan to return to Belize to continue studying the paleontology of Belize. I want to make it my life's career and my life's work. And at all costs, that's what I'm going to do. Whether or not I think, if there's, people want to know what kind of job will I get in Belize. I've kind of just had to accept the fact that there might be no job waiting for me, and that I might need to create my own job in some way, shape, or form.
Currently, he is on track to graduate in 2025. Ovando's tuition is waived as a part of his program, and he will be able to publish his research upon graduation. He said that for additional funding, he applies for grants and scholarships every semester. He encourages all Belizeans to pursue underrepresented careers, even if the path is difficult. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Up next, in tonight's episode of the Sports Monday, BTB Mundialito Tournament returns.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal.
Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno.
Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Hi, my name is Leah Mangar, and I am currently the Administrative Assistant at Yaste Conservation Trust here in beautiful Punta Gorda. I received the Social Security Board Scholarship in the year of 2021. After I was told that I was a successful recipient of this scholarship, I was very grateful. This scholarship has assisted me in various ways. Firstly, it relieved me of financial constraints. So that was the main obstacle that was keeping me back. But receiving this scholarship allowed me to gain the skills and the knowledge that I needed to attain the job that I currently have. I would just encourage you all to apply to the scholarship, and the process is very, very easy. You will find a link and it will direct you to everything that you need in order to submit your application. And once you submit it, pray and just hope for the best, because you just will never know if you can get it.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. We begin tonight's coverage with the return of the Anthony Mahler and BTB's Under-13 Mundialito tournament. The tournament began on Saturday morning with an opening ceremony at the Berger Field. 14 teams, 10 male and 4 females lined the field as they were encouraged to play hard and play fair.
This morning I can see a big crowd and I'm very happy to see even girls involved and that we are giving priority to the females as well. So I wish all of our players a very successful day. I like the comment about having a safe, nobody get hurt today, right? But play hard and everybody work their best to win.
We are achieving our mission, and I want to publicly thank the BTB for partnering with the FFB in doing this program.
The day began with a match between the defending champions, Belize United, and last season's sub-champion, Ladyville Rising Stars. Both teams went through their warm-up routines before taking to the field ahead of the starting whistle. Within 2 minutes of the first of 3 periods, Rising Stars' Nigel Hulse stuns his opponents with the first goal of the match. Hulse found himself in front of the goal with a loose ball, and he capitalized on it. A shot certainly worth celebrating. And the defending champions certainly would not take that one sitting down. Belize United's Shea Garden made quick work of a pass inside the penalty box. With the defender and the goalkeeper locked in on him, Gordon managed to slip the ball into the net, tying the game at 1 apiece. And that is how that one ended. The second match between Tutbay FC and Phoenix FC was less competitive. It was a blowout, in fact. Tutbay FC scored 12 goals while their opponents finished with 0. On average, a goal was scored every 3 minutes of playtime. The first goal was scored by Tutbay's Tyrone Guy Jr. in the first minute. A minute later, Kyron Martinez beats the only defender on him inside the penalty box and puts one past the goalkeeper. Asher Wells scored back-to-back goals in the 5th and 11th minutes of the first period. Kyron Martinez came back at the 12th minute, dribbles past the goalkeeper and puts it in with ease. He finished with a hat-trick. So did Adolfo Gomez. Now let's move into some football action at another level. We're talking about the semi-finals of the William Dawson Peace Cup. 4 teams competed on Sunday inside the MCC grounds to see who will be the top 2 finalists. Tutbay FC and Fort George played each other in the first match. As the rules mandate, players from both teams lined up and greeted each other at the start of the game as a show of sportsmanship. The starting whistle is blown with Tutbay FC in control of the ball. 8 minutes into the match, Fort George gets an opportunity by way of a spot kick, a short distance outside the penalty box. That translated into a corner kick that was quickly cleared out by defenders. At the 29th minute, a header off a corner kick almost made its way into the net for Tutbay. A good stop by the goalkeeper. Nonetheless, this shot at target by Marquis Stump from a difficult angle flew right past the goalkeeper and into the net. Up by 1-0, Tutbe would go on to win the match. The second match was between Cesar Ridge FC and Hattieville. It didn't take long before Cesar Ridge was on the scoreboard, but this goal was not of their own doing. It was an auto goal scored by Hattieville's Brandon Rogers in front of the goal. There is a look of immediate regret. It was not until deep into the second half, at the 77th minute, that Hattieville would redeem itself with a goal by Alex Henderson. That one left the goalkeeper standing clueless. Tied at 1 goal each, it is now anybody's game. After 89 minutes of regular time, it seemed as if this one would go into overtime. But not so fast. A kick from midfield had Hattieville's players raising their hands for an offside call. But there was no whistle from the referee. Jalen Babb scored the final goal of the match for Cesar Ridge FC. The official on the line raised her flag for an offside, but after a moment of deliberation, it was declared a goal. Hattieville walked off the field and the victory went to Cesar Ridge FC, the second team to make it to the finals. And finally for tonight, the BEBL hosted a successful all-star evening on Sunday. Devon Campbell from the Belize City Defenders won the 3-point shootout and secured the cash prize. Nigel Jones, also from the Belize City Defenders, successfully defended his All-Star Slam Dunk title. He walked away with $2,000 cash. And in the All-Star game, the home team, led by Jaden Lopez, defeated the away team 122 points to 112 points. The MVP award went to Sedibe Burama. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.